member of the Hometown Historian channel. Sort of gross. I didn't even realize how filthy I got from that cornfield. We'll have these probably in consecutive days, or there might be a day split between them. This one here is called, the cemetery is called the Meyer Cemetery. It's once again northwest of Myerstown by probably about 3 or 4 miles. I believe this was originally the Meyer family. It was their cemetery because I believe the first Meyer here was Abraham Meyer, and he died in 1848. The Meyer Meeting House, which was named after them because they started it, which is now called Mount Zion Road Church of the Brethren. That church was built in 1860, no longer here, but he died, the sort of the patriarch of the Meyer family. This is M-E-Y-E-R. He died in 1848, so there are people buried here before the church was built in 1860. So there are some older stones that we're going to look at here, and this is another part of the history and a cool stone wall. So I'm going to stop this, turn it around so you can check out the wall. Alright, so you can see the wall there. Here is the gate and the steps. Let me get this up here. Sorry about the camera being all over the place, but balance isn't that great yet anymore. This is just another one of those, like the Schaefer Cemetery. Of course, this house also has Chuck, but just beautiful how the open farmland. There are much more recent burials here, of course. Pretty stones there. Father Jacob Lutz. So he had died in 1917. This church was built in 1860. No longer here. There's a new church, Mount Zion Road Church of the Brethren. And then as you go back through here, it gets much older. I believe there are 61 burials here. They're on record. There probably are a couple in there. It's odd to have those open areas. This is one I went by the other day, and I thought about, I need to stop, and then I just didn't. And there's one that's done in German, and it has the cool sort of sun or the starburst there at the top. Each of those things has meaning. I gotta go over, I gotta make a video on them. So I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar with those as I should be. Usually those smaller stones for children, unfortunately. Oh, this is sad. Marlene Lead, infant daughter of Wilbur and Meta K. Lead, 1960. There's another child. April Lynn Alley went to heaven February 28, 1979. Beloved daughter of Patricia and Kenneth Alley. It's always sobering when you see that. You see children's graves, because nobody wants to see that. There's a line in Lord of the Rings where Theoden says, no parent should have to outlive their child, or should have to bury their child, and it's just very, very true. Benjamin Garber, 1817 to 1900. Once again, there's a couple of these that have that starburst, or it's probably like a sunflower or something. I have to look, but they do have meaning. A lot of stuff they had in the 1700s, especially like Germanic, they brought that over from Europe. And you know, each of them had special meaning. You know, you would see a lamb or an angel usually on the grave of a child, gravestone of a child. A lot of really unique, interesting history to that. Somebody had sent me a pretty cool link to a video about that, and I think I got a book now as well. So I want to study up on that more, and as we go into some of these older cemeteries, as I'm able to move around a lot more, I would like to explain that, have a video, you know, because it is folklore, folktale type thing. And I think here towards the back, hopefully we'll start to see some of those Myers, but I have a feeling that some of them might be some of those field stones that we saw just a little bit earlier. Here's a Follier. Some different spellings. This is another good example. This is probably probably the older spelling, is F-E-H-L-E-R, and then they eventually changed the E to an A. And sometimes that's the Germanic way, and then this is the English way. They just changed over time. We see that over like Beanoggles. They have spelling of Malfair is completely different than the newer. That's a really neat stone there. The carving is just a little bit different. Some of these are really nice. A lot of stones in really good shape yet here. Hoping to see some here that say Meyer on it, but I have a feeling these ones that are the field stones. Church was probably over here because the older part of the cemetery is here, and usually always the older part of the cemetery was closest to the church. We've talked about that quite a bit in these older cemeteries, more as starbursts, or I think that's what they refer to them as. And these are field stones. Sometimes it was people that just couldn't afford to have a stone carved, and that's what it was done. Sometimes it was also, because you gotta remember, slavery still existed up here. You know, even in Pennsylvania, it existed for quite a bit of time. So it was either that, or it could be Native Americans, a lot of different things. So these are probably the original, like, Meyer, I would assume. That's just sort of how some of the stones were. But really, really pretty cemetery. I'm so glad I stopped out here. So anyways, so I wanted to bring you guys along so you could check this out, see it, and just another one of these unique smaller cemeteries. The church is no longer, of course, located here anymore. It's now, I think it's down out that way, like northwest. Over there you can see the Blue Mountains. It's just pretty through here, but yeah. So I want to thank everybody once again for coming along on another adventure here. We're just checking out another older cemetery here, talk a little bit about its history, what we do have that we know, and go from there. And as always, we will see you all about town.